You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, let's talk about the Browns. More specifically, the quarterback battle, the fake-ass quarterback battle that's going on, because the more I've thought about it, the more I think about what I said months ago when I said that Todd Monken, Jimmy Haslam sort of made this quarterback decision a long time ago. And that was to start Deshaun Watson. In fact, I've got to speculate, just like I said months ago, did Todd Monken sell Deshaun Watson or sell Jimmy Haslam on I can make Deshaun Watson into a quarterback? Deshaun Watson was trash today with a capital T. And Todd Monken at times looked downright pissed on the sideline because he's got to answer the media this week if and when he chooses Deshaun Watson, because Shedeur Sanders made this, I think, a much tougher decision. Why? Because Deshaun Watson played against 3s and 4s and got his ass dominated. Dominated. In fact, he didn't have a good throw. At least last week you could say, hey, Shedeur had a couple of really good throws, including like a 40-yard strike. Today, I mean, and last week, did any pass Deshaun through? Did it go over 10 yards? Today, forget about it. And Shedeur Sanders had an INT that really and truly his receiver should have caught. This is the stats. This game was a mess from the get-go because of a thunderstorm delay for lightning. Shedeur Sanders, 9 of 11, 74 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 1 sack. Deshaun Watson, 5 of 12 for 36 yards, 1 interception, a 14.6 rating. Dylan Gabriel got 1 incompletion in this game, and they got the boots blown off, the doors blown off of them. But Shedeur Sanders had this very competitive headed into the half. So that's his numbers for the first half, 9 of 11 right there. Here we go. Shedeur gets a first down. Let's just check it out.
On one battle, Steve, but if you're not...
Let me turn this down. He gets around what looks like is going to be a sack. He kind of undercut the arm coming across, and he ran for a first down. Here's the touchdown pass to Luke Floria.
It's Luke Floria from
right here. By the way, I like Luke Floria more and more every week. And this team needs some tight ends besides Harold Fannin. Shedeur Sanders with a throw a bit behind his target. Tipped and picked by DeMar Hamlin. Yeah,
Sanders,
that DeMar Hamlin
left.
picked this off. That should have been caught. Yep, Mr. Jab himself, the Jabinator, the Buffalo Bills Make-A-Wish kid that, that has backed the Buffalo Bills franchise into a corner where I guess they forever have to give DeMar Hamlin a contract because he was not good last year. Trust me, I did a video when they extended his contract. Fans were pissed. Bills fans were pissed. Bills are forever trapped giving this charity case a contract. DeMar Hamlin, I don't give a shit. Checking in on Deshaun Watson. I mean, it was a hot-ass mess. What is that? What is that? What was that? I mean, wow. How about Deshaun getting booed?
First game action in 22 months. Browns
He got the shit booed out of him. When he came in the game, he got booed multiple times. Multiple times today, he got booed in this game. Deshaun Watson, air mails for the pick.
Beyond just what you
This
see on
was
the
an
field.
awful throw.
Room feels good. I talked to a lot of.
I mean, what are you doing? Who are you
some
throwing
really
that
good
to?
things on and off the field, but they feel close. They feel.
And this was against 3s and 4s, folks. He was awful. Deshaun Watson booed off. Wow. You knew it was going to get ugly if he didn't play well. And frankly, it might have gotten ugly if he had played well. It was a disaster. It was, and I believe, look, Todd Monken had already decided to start Watson, or you would have had all the ones out there. But you didn't. You didn't have all the ones out there. You gave Watson all the ones the other day against the Bills in practice. So that decision alone told you he's already handed the job to Deshaun Watson. Now, his worst nightmare has happened. Deshaun Watson came out in the third quarter against the 3s and 4s and shit the bed. And looked awful doing it. Good luck. Good luck this week, Todd Monken. Good luck, dude. By the way, Kevin Stefanski's team looked really good today. Just throwing that out there. All the overreaction from Stefanski last week, nah. He whatever he did, he figured it out. But wow. Wow. I got to tell you. I thought, well, he's surely going to look competent against the 3s and 4s, right? No. It was about his most disastrous performance as you could have possibly had. At least last week, I mean, Shedeur didn't do great last week, but he had a couple of very good throws. And that play that Todd Monken tried to say, oh, Sanders dropped too far back in the pocket. That play got broke down by Brock Osweiler today, before this game. And he said Shedeur recognized pressure from one side, and that's why he took a few more steps back, because he knew that, he read that pressure was coming. By the way, Shedeur holding on to the ball too long, drifting too far back, this, that, and the other. I've seen almost none of that thus far in the preseason. This is going to, I'm going to tell you, I can't wait for Cleveland media this week. Poor Tony Grossi. He got crushed. They went into this practice, the QB tracker. People were dragging him because there was 2 touchdowns that people there recorded. The only problem was the NFL officials that they got hired called both of them not touchdowns. So the fans see these videos and they weren't technically touchdowns, so they didn't put them on the tracker. And people are still mad. I don't know what to tell you, Tony. I don't. I mean, I wouldn't have put them on there either if the NFL officials didn't actually call them touchdowns. And one of them initially called it, and then they conferred and called it off. I mean, what are you going to do? Tell me what you think. I think Todd Monken, overall, the best passes of this preseason, without a shadow of a doubt, have come from Shedeur Sanders. Point blank. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.